don't say anything. Why we pointing that out? Why we're talking about it? Because we're dying. That's why. We're killing one another. That's why. You got black people scared to go in their own damn communities. I remember last year watching television and we had black folks in Chicago calling for martial law.
This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Get your merch link in the description section. Get you one of these shirts. What would Trump do? We have a what would Reagan do? And we also have a shirt that says my pronouns are USA. Go on right now and get you one of those shirts. Links are in the description section. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notification anytime I go live, make a video. Make sure you still subscribe to this channel. Like this video, comment for this video. Let's get into this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to play this clip from your boy Stephen A. I normally don't like to talk about Stephen A, but I think like a broken clock, he's right at least twice a day. So let me go to the clip of Stephen A talking about the violence in the black community. And this kind of piggybacks on what I was saying about Como in Fort Worth, Texas, where I grew up at, and the violence that just occurred the other day. Roll clip 2.
We need each other. We need each other living. We need each other breathing. We need to uplift one another, to galvanize, to inspire and motivate. We need to make sure that our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed, that our eyes are wide open and we can see the forest from the trees. Not smoke one another and take one another out, and damn sure not be quiet about it. But that's what a lot of people want. You want the Stephen A's of the world to shut the hell up. And I'm not talking about the white community. I'm not talking about the Hispanic community. I'm talking about my own community. Oh, don't say anything. Why we pointing that out? Why we're talking about it? Because we're dying. That's why. We're killing one another. That's why. You got black people scared to go in their own damn communities. I remember last year watching television and we had black folks in Chicago calling for martial law. Calling for the National Guard to come in just so they could go home safe at night. And we supposed to be quiet about that? We ain't supposed to say anything? We just supposed to look at race? We supposed to point the finger at white America like we ain't culpable? That's what we supposed to do? Nah. I'm not doing that. We're not helping each other by being quiet and averting ourselves from holding our own selves accountable. This isn't a political issue, veering towards the right or the left. This is about life and death. That's what this is about.
Stephen A. Smith, like I said, twice a day, he made 2 points that were correct. We do need each other, and we need to stop killing each other. The thing that he was wrong about is he said, my community. What community, Stephen A.? You don't live in Philly. You're not living in the hood in Como in Fort Worth. Stephen A., you know you live around nothing but white people. Your community is white people. Your community is affluent people where it's safe. So let's stop being weird with that whole my community stuff. But he does have a point. How are we when I say we, America, how are we so concerned about all these other things, yet when it comes to the degeneracy in the black community, we turn a blind eye to it. I don't know if it's because we're afraid of being called a racist, because you say, hey, man, look over there. Black people killing each other like it's a sport. And not all black people in these cities. Because I know somebody will say, man, you just making it up, man. You just talking about all black people, man. It's like, nah, man, I'm talking about people in these communities. It's a detrimental thing that's happening to black people, the black psyche, and the representation of black people. Because we see it every day in almost all of these major cities. The worst part of the city is occupied by black people. The poorest parts of the city in many of these major cities are occupied by black people. And these things can't change, but people don't want to be honest with themselves. Just like what happened in Como. Am I shocked? No, I'm not. I mean, it was the hood. When I was growing up in Fort Worth, Texas, there was places that are the hood. You can't even walk at night in these hoods. You might get killed, robbed. Something crazy may happen to you. I'll tell you what, I was never afraid of being in white communities. I was never afraid. I was always afraid of being in the hood. And in the communities that I was in, there was no white hood. I never experienced a white hood. Now, I'm pretty sure some white hoods out there, but it wasn't as prevalent as the black inner city communities that I call hoods or ghettos. But if for some reason I'm an Uncle Tom Coon sellout because I'm bringing up these things. I'm actually the one saying, hey, man, how do we fix this? We need to fix it by acknowledging it's a problem. You can't fix something if you can't acknowledge that it's a problem. If you cannot say that, hey, man, our young people are being influenced by the devil, and that it almost appears as if we're under a curse, and we need to acknowledge that, because it is mind-blowing to me at how many Americans of African descent are racist against white people and how many believe that they're a victim no matter what status of life that they're in. I'm friends with a guy. I wouldn't say we're friends. We follow each other on social media and we message back and forth, a Hall of Fame NFL player. And I'm not going to say the person's name, but he is a Hall of Fame NFL player. That means that not only was he probably making a lot of money over the decades that he played in the NFL, he also have reached a level of status. And almost every other day, he's sending me something about how he's a victim and how black people are a victim in America. It's crazy to me. I'm literally arguing him back and forth like, bro, you tripping. I made a video that went mega viral about the first legal slave owner, Anthony Johnson. I literally made a video about Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson exists. There's a historical record of Anthony Johnson, which is he was the first legal slave owner in the colonies. And like, that's a fact. That's a historical fact. You can look it up. You can see his signature. There's legal documents. There's legitimately fact patterns that shows and proves that Anthony Johnson was the first legal slave owner and he was a black man. But yet, black folks making reviews of my content, calling me a sellout Uncle Tom fool, and that I'm making it all up. You can't make this stuff up, man. Hold the phone. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm running out of time. I'll be back after the break.